Nobody knows what permanent press really means. I used to be a model student at school, diligent workforce at home. But secretly, I was a bully in the town. When I think about the kind of things I did when my age was a single-digit number, it horrifies me. I used to look up a girl I liked in like a gymnasium. Weird pleasure. It's funny, like a kind of memory you pick up from a childhood. Like a mean thing I've done, or like the mean thing that's done to me. When you have something you want to forget, that's when you do laundry. Sour feeling. Like the feeling that pulling out the legs off of a grasshopper. Why do kids do that? Or I remember when I was walking down the street and going home, and I was a great, perfect bully. And I felt like everything was under control. And one day, I was walking down the street, going home, and somehow, I caught this sight that on the exterior wall of my house was this little scribble. And it went, "Sasamoto is idiot." And it shocked me because I felt like everything was under control. You know, it shocked me so much that I kind of just kept walking into my gate and then just went home. I knew it was a permanent black ink marker. Possible methods to remove the graffiti. But I couldn't come up with a good idea. Next day I ignored it. The following day also I kind of ignored it. And I kept ignoring. I don't remember details, but I just remember that scanning through head who it might be. Around the same time, I really liked going to the library after school and then reading, and I met this book of Insects by Jean Henry Fabre. And I was obsessed with that observations that he had of how dung beetles work. The literature itself was interesting, but like imagining this character, this Fabre, going into the field and just like writing leaf after leaf of extensive observation on insects in the middle of nowhere. I thought, what a freak. Chapter 2. The Sacred Beetle. 1. The Ball. It is 6,000 or 7,000 years since the sacred beetle was first talked about. The peasant of ancient Egypt, as he watered his patch of onions in the spring, would see from time to time a fat black insect pass close by, hurriedly trundling a ball backwards. The early Egyptians fancied that this ball was a symbol of the earth, and that all the scarab's actions were prompted by the movements of the heavenly bodies. So much knowledge of astronomy in a beetle seemed to them almost divine, and that is why he is called the sacred beetle. The ball he rolls so carefully is made of his sweepings from the rows and fields. This is how he sets about. The edge of his broad, flat head is notched with 6 teeth arranged in a semicircle, and this he uses for digging and cutting up. The beetle then presses the stuff against his body with his hind legs, curving it and spinning it round and round till it forms a perfect ball. When the bowl of provisions is ready, it must be moved to a suitable place. The beetle begins the journey. He crafts the bowl with his long hind legs and walks with his forelegs, moving backwards with his head down and his hindquarters in the air. He pushes his load behind him by alternate thrusts to right and left. One would expect him to choose a level road, or at least a gentle incline, not at all. Then find the steep incline, he'll choose the worst possible path. Worst possible path. Movement of this toil is always backwards. Then some rush movement. All this toil is wasted. The ball rolls down, dragging the beetle with it. Once more, the heights are climbed, and another fall is the result. Sometimes, the scarab seems to enter into partnership with a friend. This is the way in which it usually happens. When the beetle's ball is ready, he leaves the crowd of workers pushing his prize backwards. A neighbor, whose own task is hardly begun, suddenly drops his work and runs to the moving ball to lend a hand to the owner. His aid seems to be accepted willingly. But the newcomer is not really a partner. He is a robber. To make one's own ball needs hard work and patience. To make one's own ball needs hard work and patience. But to steal one ready-made or to invite oneself to a neighbor's dinner is much easier. Some thieving beetles go to work craftily, others use violence. model student at school, secretly a bully in the town, but I was a diligent workforce at home. I used to do laundry every day. So, there was a man who was in my town, who was always walking around. I don't know what he was doing, and he always called me when I was coming out and doing the laundry, like drying the laundry on the balcony. He knew exactly what time I was coming out. I don't really remember the detail, but he was like a bald man. With maybe a few hair. I don't remember the detail, but I remember his eyebrows. Really bushy eyebrows. It's a kind of man who just lecture you about what's wrong in the world. He hated technological advance of any kind. And I remember he always called me laundry kid, and every time he catches me, I was trying to avoid him. And all the kids in the town, whenever he was around, coming from the corner, you would try to get away from him. But nonetheless, sometimes he catches you, and then he says always the same thing, his memory from World War II, and then how terrible the people using machines and not. And I try to, out of respect, focus on facing him, but I'll remove my soul off of my body. Try to go up above the sky and see the situation from different perspective. Like a bird. The bird sees the situation from different perspective and understands things. It's like scholars reading about art. And opposed to that, a dung beetle experiences everything right here, in details. Dung beetles experience every details, experience the consequence of every event rolling in front of her. Today I saw a screw sticking out. I saw a drop of paint from last exhibition. I saw a little lint from somebody's winter coat. Every detail matters. the stain, permanent marker. So I'm going to try that. The bird looked at the strange one from up above and thinks, what an idiot. What kind of life would you like to have? Do you want to have the bird perspective? Or touch things and experience things? One time, he caught me while he's talking to me, and I was focusing on his eyebrows so hard. There's this bird that landed up above. I didn't see it. She dropped the feces smack in the middle of the forehead. In between the eyebrows I was focusing on. And I was trying really hard, looking at him, trying to ignore the funniest droplets in between his eyebrows, scanning through all sorts of ways how to delete that dot from his face. So in that town, the old man with eyebrows were always walking around during the day. I don't know, and now that I think of it, maybe he was kicked out of his house or something sad. But we didn't know. All we knew, we kids, were like, okay, we're gonna have to call him something so that we can get away from his lecturing. We called him wise man, just to get out of his lecturing. But at the same time, we didn't know where to place him in the world. Some stains. Some stain is conceptual. Some stains. Some stains performs time difference attack. You think you forgot it, but it comes back after 15 years. Some stains are so hard to get rid of. Right, bad memory. You need the right detergent, right